Florida now joining the majority of states telling residents to stay at home, all of course to fight the spread of the coronavirus. Florida's governor issuing an executive order calling for Floridians statewide to please stay at home. The order takes effect tomorrow night, and the governor originally resisting a statewide order even after reports of folks partying at beaches during spring break. There are now just 15 states without a stay-at-home order in place. Most of those states are leaving orders up to city officials right now. Only 5 states have no guidance for residents.
Joining us now to discuss this is Professor of International Law at Florida A&M, Dr. Jeremy Levitt. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, C. and Laverne. How you doing?
Great to have you. It's good to see you. So, do you have any history on these stay-at-home orders? Is this something we've ever seen before in any state?
No, I think this is unique. Obviously, for natural catastrophes and hurricanes, we've seen shelter-in-place orders, but to have it for this extended period of time, this kind of normalized approach that they've taken, we've never seen anything quite like this for the whole state of Florida or nationwide. And it's quite we're quite uncertain whether or not the president has the authority to do a national quarantine. He relies on the states because they really have authority over local resources.
Dr. Levitt, how could this even be enforced?
Well, it's enforced practically through law enforcement. Obviously, an order like this relies on the goodwill of the citizens of the state of Florida. But ultimately, if you're out and you're stopped by a police officer, they have probable cause under the order to stop you, to ask you where you're going and what you're doing. Are you an essential worker? And if you don't fit in that essential worker paradigm, which, by the way, each locale has adopted its own law, now the governor has come over top of that and basically said, if your essential worker paradigm doesn't fit into mine, then yours is void. And so there's going to be a lot of confusion about who's an essential worker and the reasons why people can go outside. Certainly, if you need to go to a doctor's visit or go to the grocery store, get gas, or go exercising, those things are certainly acceptable. But the allotted criteria now for business persons and other professionals have been narrowed by this executive order by Governor DeSantis.
Well, let's talk a little bit about these border checkpoints, because this is huge news. I've been watching the local news here, and you're seeing folks coming down Interstate 95 and on Interstate 10 being stopped and pulled to the side to be checked for any signs of coronavirus. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Is this something that we should be doing? Does the governor have the right to do this, especially on U.S. interstates?
Well, that's again an interesting question. Yeah, we don't have federal highway police. You know, we have state highway police. And certainly, if you're entering the state of Florida, there are a variety of different factors that allow the governor, local authorities to stop you. If you can remember, sometimes you'll be driving 995 and they'll have something for individuals during a holiday who might be drinking and driving, and they'll stop and they'll do a check. So there's lots of reasons why this has been done in the past. When you have an executive order, the police powers of the state become enlarged, and there's more authority to stop you. Certainly the federal government has no issue with this. And what they're trying to do is control the persons coming in and out of the state to ensure that this virus, this very, very unique set of circumstances, is not being transmitted to the citizens of the state of Florida.
So do you think this is going to help stop the spread?
Well, I think it can. I think Governor DeSantis is probably 3 or 4 weeks late on doing this. Obviously, we're screening people who are flying into Orlando Airport. There have been people who've come in, as you know, who've had coronavirus that we've been able to quarantine, and that's helped. I think stopping individuals that are not just Florida state citizens, but individuals coming here to vacation, coming from other states is a good idea because they could be bringing in the virus. So controlling the borders, I think, is important. And we're doing it not just locally, but if you're watching what's happening with the executive branch, they're doing it internationally now, really aimed toward individuals engaged in the international drug trade.
Interesting insight. Thanks so much, Dr. Levitt, for joining us. We appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure.